Hi, my name is Thais Gibson, and I'm the creator of the Personal Development School. This is your daily breakthrough video, and in this video, I want to talk to you a little bit about the fearful, avoidant fears and wounds in a relationship when it comes to the relationship specifically with a DA, with a dismissive avoidant. And I also want to talk to you a little bit about how to particularly communicate these fears and wounds. So this is a little tiny snippet, just some of these key points and topics of our actual live courses that we created inside PDFs with slides, the PowerPoints, the notes on the slides, all that kind of stuff that are available right now. So you can check that stuff out if you join the 7-day free trial. And then if you sign up in the 7-day free trial and you enter into the school, you can go into like the webinar area and you'll see these like in-depth courses that we're doing and building on, but they're all about the attachment style interactions, the pain points, the needs, the fears, what to reprogram, the love languages, how to communicate through problems, how to communicate to each other, what each other needs for communication, all that kind of good stuff. So this will be a tiny part of that. So when it comes to the FADA relationship, the fearful avoidant tends to fear abandonment to a certain degree and feelings of unworthiness, but they also fear rejection in the relationship itself with a DA. So they may fear like the small rejections that can show up and take place on a regular basis when the DA becomes dismissive. And these things often make the FA feel unimportant, like they don't matter, like they're unworthy, and it can really be something that triggers the FA. They also often fear being betrayed, and sometimes they equate the lack of transparency coming from the DA with the lack of transparency must mean that you are betraying me in some form, lying or not being faithful, or these different things. And the fearful avoidant, which is funny, they simultaneously feel sort of a fear of being trapped and helpless and powerless with the DA, specifically around large commitments. So, going from dating to being in a relationship, going from being in a relationship to moving in, like around those like sort of tipping points of large commitments, that's where you may see some of the sort of resistance come in. The FA also fears feeling unseen, unheard, unimportant when the DA deactivates. And they really value feeling like they can be seen, heard, appreciated, acknowledged by their partner. So when it comes to actually communicating the specific fears that can show up, those core wounds that can sort of take hold, there's specific strategies that are necessary to utilize in the process. And one of the first ones is it's got to be really important to be as calm and as factual as possible. So when there's a communication, rather than it being something that you hold in, don't share, don't say for a long period of time, it's really important to say, hey, this is specifically what's going on for me right now, and this is what I need, and to do so in real time as much as possible. One of the secret tricks to making this relationship work, literally, is being able to communicate your needs and see them through. And sometimes FAs in this dynamic will think that because they like in passing or subtly or quickly once communicated their needs to the DA, that that's a done deal. Whereas it's really important the FA learns to communicate their needs all the time and can say, hey, you did this yesterday, you did awesome. Today you forgot, I need this now. And just for it to be like a thing that's reminded fairly often, really until it takes hold at the subconscious level for the other person. Because until that point, and what it's forcing the FA to do is see their needs through. And over time, with repetition, as long as you have somebody who's willing to do the work as a DA, which you'd be surprised that a lot of DAs, when they're communicated in a calm manner, over time, specifically, and those needs are seen through, they will really show up to do that work. I've seen this a lot in my practice. And obviously there's people who are coming in wanting to do the work because they're showing up for counseling, but just huge amount of dismissive avoidance I would see who showed up to do that work and followed through. It's really important as well that when communicating, so sort of number 2 tip for communicating, to not pressure the DA and to sort of see like, what they can do and how they can work with you, to not say, hey, it has to be exactly like this all the time, but to leave some flexibility. Like, this is important to me. We could do it this way or this way. How do you see us working on this? What do you think? And to sort of incorporate them in the process. When a DA feels too pressured or there's too much expectations, they tend to rebel, and they rebel to keep their autonomy a little bit. So it's more like having the needs, seeing them through in the moment, having those needs be things that you agree upon, that you talk, that you discuss compromises around proactively, and then being able to remind that person if at any point they forget. And usually what I'll see and what we're looking for in terms of like a healthy DA showing up to do the work will be the individual showing up and they remember 3 times, they forget 1 time. They remember the next 2 times, they forget 1 time. They remember the next 5 times, then they forget 1 time. And it will be something that you're seeing it sort of move like this over time. And that's when we're looking at like, hey, this person's invested, they're willing to do the work. And this is usually when both parties are actually on track and taking the steps to becoming more secure, because also the FA is communicating and seeing their needs through, which is like one of the most important things the FA can ever work on as an individual or in a relationship. Another big thing is to try to make communication safe and constructive. When it becomes destructive or when there's too much volatility in the communication, DAs get that I am unsafe core wound triggered, and they will shut down and they will work on protecting themselves, and their focal point around communication will be more focused on that than it will be, for example, at like maintaining the relationship or seeing, showing up to meet the needs of the other person in the relationship. Their focus will be on like avoiding conflict, staying away. They may say yes, but not intend to follow through. They may say yes, but not really think it through fully in the moment because they're kind of triggered around avoiding the conflict. So it's really important that the communication becomes safe, consistent, productive, and with limited volatility if possible. And that's a call for the FA to work on questioning their stories and working on their core wounds prior to going to have the conversation and communicate. Another big thing is to be appreciative when you show change. Dismissive avoidants do not respond well at all to negative reinforcement. They respond very well to positive reinforcement, to, hey, I see you're trying. Thank you. I appreciate you. Even if there's feedback. So if you're the FA and you're saying, hey, I really need these needs to take place, and then the DA comes in and tries to do them or show up for them. And then you, like, let's just say the example is laundry. Let's say you're the FA, you ask your DA partner, hey, can you take some turns doing the laundry? And let's say they do. And then let's say they fold things or put the stuff away in the wrong place. You want to make sure that you're not like, hey, you put the stuff away in the wrong place. You want to make sure that you start by saying, hey, like, I acknowledge and I really appreciate you did the laundry. I just want to let you know for future reference, this stuff goes over here, not over there, but thank you. And to really like actually show that appreciation for the change is really important. And the other dynamics here, and just some like taglines that are going to be really important, is to ask for presence when you feel that you're being dismissed, to say, hey, I need you to be present right now. And here's what we're really looking for. Like, we are looking for somebody who does the work to show up to change these things. And the same thing when we'll do the FA or the DA communicating to the FA sort of thing, it'll be under the same principles, right? You're looking for the other person to show up and respond. If they don't, actions will always speak louder than words. And eventually you'll say, okay, like, you can communicate all day, the person can make promises all day, but it happens where it doesn't. But if you're seeing the person really start showing up and try, or every time you say, hey, I need you to be present, the person pauses and becomes present and makes an effort, you are going to see beautiful shifts and changes in this relationship. And another really important tip or tool is to make sure that you communicate really clearly and specifically. A lot of DAs, if you say something more open-ended, they'll feel a little bit helpless or incapable. So if you say something like, I need more support, don't say, I just need more support. Say, I need more support. And it looks like physical affection, giving me a hug more often, or it looks like, you taking a turn with the chores, or it looks like you getting up earlier with me, or whatever it might be. Like, it has to be something that is tangible and specific, or the DA will be like, I don't really know what that means. It's open-ended, it's vague, and they often shut down when they feel incapable or uncertain about something. So, and they get afraid of trying and being wrong at it, and then feeling defective as well. And so they'll go into coping instead of going into like bridging the gap together in the relationship. So these are some high-level tips. I mean, like, we have so many more and very specific tips about like this specific interaction just around communication and needs. And we have ones around fears, and there's so many different dynamics that we talk about. So you can definitely check out those webinars in our webinar library. And we will continue to add, I'll be doing live versions of the course with the PowerPoints, all that stuff over and throughout the month of February and into early March, going through the AA and FA relationship, FADA, FAAP, and FAFA, and then a more general one for like the secures or attachment styles who may be getting to know each other, who are of the same attachment style. So you can check those out as well. And you can check all this stuff out for free for 7 days. If you click the link in the description box below, and when you go into the school, just type in webinar, or go to webinar library, and then just type in the search bar FA and AP, and you'll see that pop up right away. So I hope that makes a lot of sense. Thank you so much for watching, for being here. Please like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next video.